Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts continue to prove us wrong, more specifically me and Sammy, because Joe has already hopped on the Colts bandwagon week after week after week with another dominating performance over the Los Angeles Chargers last Sunday. The Colts are now 6-1 with the best offense in football, 33.1 points per game, first in the NFL, second in total yards, fifth in pass yards, seventh in rush yards. And I and us as a whole could not have been more wrong. And Joe, you are included on this, could not have been more wrong about this team in the preseason. I believe we all had them finishing last in this division and competing for the number one overall pick. And right now, 7 weeks through the season, they have the best record in football. And also preseason, I said Daniel Jones was the worst starting quarterback in the entire NFL, and he has played like a top 5 quarterback this season. So again, I have been super wrong on the Indianapolis Colts so far. And I've said week after week, I still don't believe in them as Super Bowl contenders. I still don't believe in them as Super Bowl contenders. And even though I still don't consider them the favorites right now, 6-1 with the best point differential in football, the amount of good teams they've beat so far, and they have an argument to be 7-0 if it hadn't been for an Adonai Mitchell completely forgetting how touchdowns work versus the Rams. And again, they've been destroying teams left and right. So I got to say, once again, Colts, I was wrong, okay? This team is a Super Bowl contender in the AFC, but like I said, still don't think they're the favorite, and honestly, there's nothing that they could really do this regular season to convince me that they're the Super Bowl favorite, and there's 3 reasons for that. First of all, I have Daniel Jones PTSD. Okay, I saw this man be objectively bad at football for 6 years. I'm sorry. Even though he's been awesome these first 7 games, he's been great. Okay, I still have 70 terrible football games from Daniel Jones to start his career stuck in my head. Okay, and I understand the situations are completely different. Giants are a garbage situation. He's in a much better situation. Shane Steichen is doing a hell of a job calling plays. Tons of weapons. Great offensive line around Daniel Jones right now. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor running like the best running back in football, but he still makes me nervous as far as a championship quarterback goes for Daniel Jones. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, I am not completely sold on this defense, okay? They've absolutely locked up all 3 really bad teams that they played, okay? The Dolphins, the Raiders, and the Titans, 11.3 points per game, 263 yards per game in those 3 games, which would both be top 2 in the NFL for a full season. However, versus the 4 solid to good teams they've played, the Rams, the Cardinals, the Chargers, and the Broncos, 26.5 points per game and 407.8 yards per game. That the yards would be worst in football, and the points would be 7th worst in football. So the defense concerns me when facing legitimate offenses. And finally, and the most important reason why I don't have them as my favorites right now, the Kansas City Chiefs exist. We do this every single year, folks, year after year after year. Oh, this team's better than the Chiefs. Oh, the Chiefs' their record's not good. The Chiefs aren't making it that far in the playoffs. We do it every year, and then we look up and who's in the Super Bowl? The Kansas City Chiefs. Every single year, the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. So again, the Chiefs have all the playoff experience. The Colts don't have that much. And if it comes down to it, even if I thought the Indianapolis Colts, which were the better team, which I currently do not. But even if I thought that, they find themselves playing the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Again, the playoffs themselves are a different beast, and the Kansas City Chiefs are a different beast in the playoffs. So, Colts fans, I've been wrong every step of the way about your team so far. So you should probably be happy that I'm saying this about the Colts to this point, because I'm saying they're a Super Bowl contender, but not the favorite. But again, I just don't quite have them as the favorites because of those reasons that I just listed. But again, I've been wrong every single step of the way, and who knows, maybe I'm wrong again about this Indianapolis Colts team. But I got to kick it to Sammy first on this one, because Sammy, you over there as well have some splaining to do about these Indianapolis Colts. Were you wrong on these Indianapolis Colts? Are they a Super Bowl contender?
Well, first of all, I don't think anybody at all expected Indiana Jones to come out here and start slinging it, okay? Joe, don't look at me like that. You yourself did not expect it. You did not expect.
Yeah.
No, nobody expected this whatsoever. And for that reason, yes, I'll say that I'm wrong. I still don't think this team is going to make the Super Bowl. I'm still taking the Chiefs. I'm still taking the Bills. I'm still taking those 2 teams. I am. And look, do they have a better look? The Colts are, first of all, very, very fortunate to know that the Ravens just aren't going to be a good team this year. Okay, we have already established that. Unless Lamar Jackson comes back and Derrick Henry returns back to his form this year, and the team is just elite again, I don't see it. They're like, 1-5 at this point. It's just not looking good so far for the Ravens. On top of that, the entire AFC is just not as good as we all thought it would be. I will say this. I was wrong about how the Colts would approach this season. I thought, they would, start Anthony Richardson, see another year. No, they're like, we want to win now. They started Daniel Jones, and it's worked out for them. Congratulations. I was wrong about how they start the season, but I'm not going to be wrong about them being quick outs in the playoffs. I firmly believe that. And that's not because of the Daniel Jones thing, okay? It's really not just because of Daniel Jones, partially. It's not because of that. It's really because the defense, to me, has been bend don't break all year. And if I'm being completely honest, that kind of defense, I don't trust. I don't trust those defenses come playoff time. And I'll be straight up. I'll trust a Sean. I know it's going to be funny me saying this. I'll trust a Sean McDermott defense in the playoffs over the Colts defense. I'll trust a Steve Spagnuolo defense in the playoffs over the Colts defense, and that's fine. Maybe the Sean McDermott defense is kind of like stretching it because he's been pretty booty juice. But if I'm being completely blunt, I was wrong about the Colts so far. However, I will not be wrong about this. The Colts are going to be divisional round exits. There's no disrespect, Indy fans. I know you guys love the team. It's a great story. It's a phenomenal story, but I need to see more from that defense if I'm going to be convinced that this team is going to really contend for a championship. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, I agree with almost everything you said there, Sammy. And there's a team that it's been I talked about it a few weeks back, but it's been kind of spreading a little bit more now. This team reminds me so much of the 2024 Vikings. Like, it's super, super similar to me, where it's like the quarterback comes from out of nowhere and we all kind of gave up on him. He was a high draft pick, comes into a system that fits him perfectly, comes in, has success right away. The regular season goes almost perfect. The quarterback's an MVP candidate. They're damn near, obviously, the Vikings are in any other division in NFL history last year. They win that division, but they were in a division with the Lions who went 15-2, so they couldn't win it. But again, they have just about as good of a regular season as you could possibly have, and then we see them go one and done in the playoffs because they meet a team that's just as good, if not better, and has the playoff experience. So I actually agree with you, Sammy. If it comes down to it in the divisional round, I'm probably picking the Chiefs, and definitely picking the Chiefs and the Bills probably as well over them, because I think they just have the playoff experience, and I trust those quarterbacks and those coaches a little bit more in the big moments because we haven't seen the Colts there yet. So yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, again, Colts fans, we've been wrong. We've been so wrong so far. So again, you shouldn't be rattled by anything that we have to say now because we've just been continuously wrong so far this year. So I got to kick it to Joe. Joe, what do you think? The Indianapolis Colts, do they deserve everyone's respect by now?
Yeah, they do. Absolutely, they do. Why wouldn't they? And you're like, oh, they feel like the Minnesota Vikings from last year. Do you know what Minnesota, their rush offense was ranked according to PFF? 20th. You know what the Indianapolis Colts run offense is ranked right now? Number 2.
Okay, let's look at the defenses.
I mean, the defenses are probably a little closer together. I'm not going to lie.
The defense for the Vikings last year was probably one of the best in football.
It was a little better.
Shout out to Dolphins legend Brian Flores. I miss you, buddy.
There you go.
But I mean, I'd also say that if you look at the level of competition, the Colts have faced some good offenses, right? And they've done so with some injuries on that defensive side of the ball. I mean, they faced the Arizona Cardinals without 3 of their starting secondary members, 1 of their starting defensive ends, and we're all going to just, injuries happen, they got to play through them. Yeah, when we talk about like other guys, like you were the one who said Jane Daniels has been hurt the other day when we had a topic about that, and we were all giving that a free pass. So why can't they get a free pass?
We were talking about numbers though, like individual numbers.
You can't, a defense legitimately missing its entire starting secondary. We're not going to just give them a pass. Like,
well, no, especially when you're facing a backup quarterback, a backup running back, and the wide receiver 1 leaves in the first quarter. You don't get a complete pass for then allowing 400 total yards to Jacoby Brissett. Like, I'm not going to give you a pass for that. Like, that's not how that works.
You know who's going to give him the pass for that? Me. I'm giving him a pass for that. You want to know why? Because I've been on this train since September 11th. When Matt said, I don't trust Danny Dimes, I was like, you know what? I'm in. I jumped on that train September 11th. Here we are. It's October 21st. And I'm still on the train, baby. And in fact, we had a video come out where we said, who's a team you could trust in the AFC just last week? And who did I pick? I picked Indianapolis. So why would I change my pick now after what they did to the Chargers, after what they're going to do to the Titans this week? And realistically looking at, they're going to be the 1 seed. I'm looking at their schedule right now. The hardest games on this schedule remaining are the Kansas City Chiefs, which is in Kansas City, and the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. They're not going to lose a single divisional game. They're going to win the division. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. And then you're going to have to go into Lucas Oil. Now, I don't know if you guys have been to Lucas Oil. I have. That is a ruckus, rowdy place. And if they got home field on their turf in a dome where the weather's not going to be a problem, Give me Indianapolis against any opponent. Because they've been waiting for this.
You're telling me it's the AFC Divisional round. So let's just say Kansas City's the 4 seed, and they go in to Indianapolis in the divisional round. You're telling me you're coming in here on the Thursday or Friday before where we make the picks. You're going to come in here with all the bass in your voice and really mean it and really just be super defined and definitive and stamp it and say the Indianapolis Colts are beating the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. You're going to do that.
Fuck yeah. I'll commit right now. I'll ride that train all the way to the end of the line, bud.
Let's call it what it is. This is hate. I know what you are, Joe. No. I know what you are. Okay, I know what hat you're wearing. You don't want the dynasty to keep frothing forward. I know what you are, Joe. I know what you are. You're not slick. I see that hat you're wearing, and I understand that you don't want Patrick Magoat to go into Lucas Oil Stadium and just dominate and just completely embarrass all of Indianapolis, embarrass Pat McAfee, embarrass Indiana Jones. I know you don't want that because you want to know what the comparison will be. An all-time great QB going into Lucas Oil Stadium and snatching the heart of Indianapolis fans kind of sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound very familiar to your GOAT, Joe? Does it sound very familiar? I mean, it sounds a little familiar.
If that happens, Drake Maye is going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs anyway, so it won't matter.
Yeah, sounds like what Drake May's gonna do. The next GOAT. That's what I'm talking about, Joe. I love it.
Drake,
don't bring my team into this.
Yeah. Well, I can't say much about Drake Maye right now. Well, I can. It's just it just makes me depressed.
But the whole overarching point of this is we were very wrong as a collective preseason on the Indianapolis Colts, and the two of us here on the I don't know how it's going to be oriented on the actual video, but how I'm looking at it right now, the two of us here on the left are going to be very wrong or have been very wrong on this team basically from the start of the regular season. So Colts fans, you have a legit team this year. This is a really, really good football team, and who knows, maybe you got a chance to win it all here in 2025.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.